Good morning all. Thank you, Dean Haddon, for that wonderful introduction. It is a pleasure, really, to be here. Thank you so much for this invitation. I'm happy to be back at my alma mater, a great school indeed. You were wise to choose University of Maryland, Carey School of Law. I'm here to speak with you as you begin your journey toward becoming members of the legal profession. Just like you, I was one day, a long time ago, anxiously awaiting the start of my classes and wondering just how I was going to make it through 4 years as an evening student. As you can tell, I survived. I need not remind you that your journey through law school will not be easy. You may have many long nights of reading and studying ahead of you. You no doubt will. At the same time, you will forge friendships with your fellow students, professors, and staff that truly can last a lifetime. I know that I have today, counting among my professional colleagues and my good friends, men and women that I met here at the law school. Just a few weeks ago, I did have the distinct honor, to be appointed Chief Judge of the Court of Appeals by Governor Martin O'Malley. I have been a member of the Court of Appeals for 5 years now, and an appellate judge for nearly 12. My years as a member of Maryland's judiciary have brought me much professional and personal satisfaction, and I have enjoyed the work immensely. In my present role, I have all that and more, as I am now privileged to serve the people of Maryland as the head of the third branch of government. In addition to presiding over oral arguments, assigning opinions, continuing to write my fair share of opinions, I now administer the judiciary with nearly 300 judges and several thousand employees who support the work, and they have a very important job they have, supporting the work of the various courts throughout the state of Maryland. I oversee a budget of $468 million, and I also have numerous ceremonial tasks. Among them, this being the first really, is the pleasure of joining you today. You may be wondering about the path that led me to this place, and you've heard a little bit of that from Dean Haddon. I'm going to take you back. It is a path with many twists and turns and events that I never could have predicted or anticipated as I began law school some 30 years ago. Actually 30 plus, to be honest. I'll be candid, as always, I hope. At that time, as you've heard, and you will hear some of this a second time, I was teaching in the Baltimore City public school system in an economically depressed neighborhood not too far from where we are today. I was married, as the dean said, and I had 2 young children at the time. My daughter was 9, my son was 5. My goals were modest: get through law school, pass the bar examination, and hopefully secure a job. Perhaps these are your goals too, or perhaps you may have more refined goals, more specific ideas about what you hope to be as a lawyer upon graduation from law school. Now, I did have some idea of what I wanted to do. As my brother-in-law at the time was a lawyer, he had recently completed a clerkship with the trial judge in downtown Washington, and he was working at the Office of the Attorney General of Maryland. As I progressed through law school, I will tell you, I encountered so many fabulous professors, some of whom taught on the adjunct faculty. It was these practicing lawyers and judges who solidified my goal of beginning my career as a law clerk and of entering public service as well. Now, fast forward 4 years to the spring of 1984. I graduated from law school. I resigned as a public school teacher, although I've never quite given up education, as you will hear a little bit more about. I passed the Maryland bar examination, seriously, and was fortunate, so fortunate, to obtain a clerkship with a judge on the circuit court for Baltimore City. By that time, as I worked through law school, and worked in the day job, but also as I was working through my classes and thinking about who I wanted to be and refining my goals as a lawyer in the making, I developed a keen interest in criminal law. Maybe some of you have the same. As prosecutor or defense, it really didn't matter to me one way or the other. I loved criminal law. And I wanted to be either a trial prosecutor or a public defender. By what for me, though, was a major twist of fate, it turned out to be huge in my career. My judge was appointed to the Court of Special Appeals just days after my clerkship with him began. So I was thrust into the world of appellate litigation, reading briefs, reviewing transcripts, opinion writing, oral arguments in Annapolis, and the like. A far, far cry from the trenches of Baltimore City Circuit Court, to be sure. Now, my love of criminal law did not wane over my clerkship year, and I applied for 2 jobs in this area. It is astounding as I think about it that I actually only applied for 2 jobs. Can you believe it? Crazy. Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't know what I was thinking. Naive in the extreme, I'm sure. I had applied to be a prosecutor and assistant state's attorney in the Baltimore City State's Attorney's Office, and as an appellate litigator in the Office of the Attorney General. I did not get a job. I did not get the job as an assistant state's attorney in Baltimore City, but I was hired by Attorney General Steve Sachs, then Attorney General, to be an assistant in the Criminal Appeals Division. Another amazing experience for me. I worked hard. I worked very hard, and I had the chance to appear before state and federal appellate courts, and I thoroughly loved the job. To this day, I have to say, one of the best experiences as a lawyer I've had. Over the years, I rose through the ranks, again, through a lot of hard work, dedication, love of the job, enthusiasm for the law, and particularly my passion, which was criminal law and constitutional criminal procedure in particular. So as I did rise in the ranks, I had the opportunity to work with, by then, Attorney General J. Joseph Curran, Jr., one of my personal heroes, a great, great public servant. If I can only begin to achieve some of the goals that he set for himself and all the wonderful, wonderful things he did for the people of Maryland, I will die a happy woman. I had the opportunity, as I said, to work for Mr. Curran on cases, again, astounding, before the United States Supreme Court, and to work with him and others on legislation of importance to the people of Maryland, all the people of Maryland. By the early 1990s, I was invited to teach criminal procedure and a little bit later advanced criminal procedure at the Washington College of Law, which some of you may know is the American University's School of Law in downtown DC. I have taught at Washington College of Law ever since. Indeed, my first class of this coming semester begins a week from tonight. About the same time, still working at the Office of the Attorney General, I made my first efforts at becoming a judge on Maryland's Court of Special Appeals. That was the court on which I ended up having that wonderful year as a law clerk to Judge Robert Karwacki. And as some of you may know, it is the Court of Direct Appellate Review here in Maryland. I applied for that position twice in the mid-90s and got close enough both times for an interview with then Governor Paris Glendenning. On both occasions, I met with him. I was not appointed either time. Yet in the second twist of fate, my not getting appointed led to yet another job opportunity that I would not have predicted for myself ever, ever. Who would have thought? 2 months after my second interview with Governor Glendenning, the one that did not land me the judge the second time around, I was invited by his legal counsel, with the governor's concurrence, to join the governor's Office of Legal Counsel. I took the job. Who wouldn't? And I found myself, within a matter of days, a member of the governor's senior staff. I became chief legal counsel to the governor a year later. During those 4 years in the governor's office, I had the extraordinary opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to work with leaders in the executive, legislative, and judicial branches of our state government. I met and I worked with many elected officials, many excellent lawyers, judges, and law professors, and I continued my adjunct teaching at Washington College of Law. Now, all those circumstances combined, they did, all of them, they combined to lead me to my appointment in 2002 as a judge of the Court of Special Appeals. I returned to the very courtrooms and sat side by side with many of the same judges before whom I had presented hundreds of arguments years earlier as an assistant attorney general. Then nearly 7 years later, Governor O'Malley appointed me to the Court of Appeals, and today, still surreal, I serve as the first woman chief judge of that court. Now what, thank you. Thank you. Now, why have I taken this opportunity, this captive audience as you are, to recap my career with you? It is to demonstrate, I hope, by resort to this one person's career in the law, that sitting here today, you cannot predict with any degree of certainty where your legal career will go. What combination of hard work, timing, sheer luck, successes, and failures, recall the jobs I didn't get, those circumstances will indeed combine to lead you to where you likely will be, not just upon graduating from law school, because you will all be there, but much less 30 years hence. I stand here today at this fabulous law school, though I must say not the beautiful building, which this is a fabulous, fabulous facility. I'm just so proud to be here, but the University of Maryland didn't always have these fine digs. But it is the same law school, the same great law school that gave me my start some 30 years ago. And I still have intimate connections with law students, not as a student myself, but as a judge who hires law clerks and interns. Keep that in mind. As an adjunct faculty member who still enjoys the opportunity to witness the enthusiasm and idealism you bring today to learning the law. And I love and am challenged in the classroom by your questions. Questions that cause me to think critically about principles of law that I and others sort of accept as a given. That's what's wonderful about being in a law school environment. One is challenged not just as a student, but as a teacher. And I hope I will never have to give it up. I am so fortunate indeed, to have enjoyed a career in the law that has brought me professional challenges of great variety, and to have had the opportunity to work with and learn from inspiring professors, terrific lawyers, and devoted public servants who want only the best for the people of Maryland. So as you sit here today at the threshold of your career as a lawyer, I encourage you to embrace all that this excellent law school has to offer you, and the faculty, the fabulous faculty that you will be privileged to sit in their classrooms. And I want you to remember now, and in the years that follow, how the twists and turns of your career present opportunities for growth and great professional satisfaction. So I wish you the very best of luck as you embark on this, the first day of the rest of your professional life. Thank you so much for inviting me to be with you.